Okay, welcome everyone to Sunday service. We're happy you came today. This is a monthly event that's sponsored by the Baha'i community. And today's topic is spiritual dimensions of climate action, which will be presented by Sue Blythe. And so I'll turn it over to Sue.
Well, thank you so much, Larry. And I would like to start with a unity prayer. Oh my God, unite the hearts of thy servants and reveal to them thy great purpose. May they follow thy commandments and abide in thy law. Help them, O God, in their endeavor and grant them strength to serve thee. O God, leave them not to themselves, but guide their steps by the light of thy knowledge and cheer their hearts by thy love. Verily, thou art their helper and their Lord. This presentation was inspired, uh, it was 2013, so it's been 12 years. Five Baha'is, including Farhang and Gary Hankins, uh, Charlie Meister, and John Herbert, and I took a course from the Wilmette Institute, and it was called The Scientific and Spiritual Dimensions of Climate Change. And that was the inspiration for the Interfaith Climate Group, which has been developing over these many years a community-wide climate conversation that started out with panel discussions and workshops and presentations from many different people in the community, um, and is now taking place as a collaborative storytelling adventure that is being launched in our community as a community-wide climate conversation in action. And it has roles for people to play in this little storytelling. And so what we're trying to do is find the best way for Baha'is to find a role for themselves in this uh, conversation, which is actually designed to be a social action and discourses of society outreach to the wider community. So, with that in mind, I want to start with a quotation from the Universal House of Justice, 1985, 40 years ago, from the Promise of World Peace. For the first time in history, it is possible for everyone to view the entire planet with all its myriad diversified peoples in one perspective. World peace is not only possible, but inevitable. It is the next stage in the evolution of this planet. In the words of one great thinker, the planetization of mankind.
The world's equilibrium hath been upset through the vibrating influence of this most great, this new world order. Mankind's ordered life hath been revolutionized through the agency of this unique, this wondrous system, the like of which mortal eyes have never witnessed.
Be anxiously concerned with the needs of the age in which you live in, and center your deliberations on its exigencies and requirements.
As the grave effects of surpassing planetary limits become increasingly apparent, humanity is being compelled to develop more mature, collaborative, and constructive relationships between its peoples and with the natural environment.
Building capacity in individuals, communities, and institutions to contribute effectively to institutional transformational change is therefore indispensable, an indispensable element of effective environmental action.
The initial stirrings of grassroots social action begin to be seen in important fields, including the environment and particularly education.
Closely connected with the capacity of engaging in social action is a capacity for contributing to the discourses of society.
Within clusters, expansion and consolidation, social action, and contributing to prevalent discourses are dimensions of a single, unified, outward-looking endeavor carried out at the grassroots of society.
The contribution made by Baha'is is distinguished by its focus on building capacity for service. It is an approach founded on faith,
in the ability of a population to become the protagonists of their own development.
Thy name is my healing, oh my God, and remembrance of thee my remedy. Nearness to thee is my hope, and love for thee my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all-bountiful, the all-knowing, the all-wise. Ya Baha'u'llah, Ya Baha'u'llah. Thy name is my healing, oh my God, and remembrance of thee my remedy. my companion. Thy mercy to me is my healing and my succor in both this world and the world to come. Thou verily art the all bountiful, the only way, the all wise. Ya Baha'u'llah, Ya Baha'u'llah, Ya ilahi, ismuka shifai, dhikruka dawai, qurbuka rajai, wa hubbuka munisi, wa rahmatuka tabibi, wa mu'ini في الدنيا والآخرة، في الدنيا والآخرة. إنك أنت المعطي العليم الحكيم، العليم الحكيم. اسمك شفائي، ذكرك دوائي، قربك رجائي، اسمك شفائي، ذكرك دوائي، قربك رجائي.
Provide all, especially children and youth, with educational opportunities that empower them to contribute actively to sustainable development.
And we'll stay right there for a minute, Bill. This quotation is from the Earth Charter, which is a document that was launched in the year 2000 after nearly a decade of global consultation with about 5,000 people contributing to a beautifully crafted document with almost poetic language. And when I first saw it way back then, and actually it was Farhang and Gary who uh, brought this information to me from the Baha'i Social and Economic Development Conference. And so it at that time just inspired it sounded to me like the Baha'i principles in non-religious language that would be appropriate for use in communities and schools, and we can talk about the Baha'i principles without uh, making it saying that it's Baha'i, because I was at that time and still am trying to provide the Baha'i principles in an educational program for schools. And so we have to be careful that it's not a religious presentation. And this just really fit the bill for me. I remember that Brenda Derry and I and uh, one other wonderful woman whose name I don't remember at the moment, um, put together a children's musical play. And our Baha'i children's classes learned the lines, sang the songs, and presented it right there at the Baha'i Center. And since that time, I've been seeing the Earth Charter as an educational program. And for 25 years now, I've been figuring out how to make that vision a reality. And it is coming into life now. In January, we'll be visiting the Martin Luther King World House in the Gardens of Global Unity, where all things are possible. We're going to Earth Day in April and talking about the Earth Charter at that time so that we can learn about the interdependence of our natural world and of the human family. And then in July, we're celebrating America's 250th birthday. And I know the National Spiritual Assembly will be releasing in April at Rizwan the statement on the spiritual destiny of America. And so that becomes part of our education to the wider community. And so what's happening in this Sunday service series is that we are laying the Baha'i foundation. And in the Interfaith Climate Group monthly activities, we say we are uh, providing a spiritual foundation for this community-wide climate conversation in action. So it's so important to me to be able to have a program like this one today where we can base the like ground, get into the roots of what is growing in these gardens of global unity. And for me, it's the Baha'i faith. For other people, it may be their Christian or Jewish, Muslim faith, Hinduism, Buddhism, wherever they're coming from. People have their grounding, founding statements and principles. And so this presentation today, I'm seeing as a prototype, I guess, for others to use so that they can, we will invite them to use the words from their spiritual and cultural traditions to provide that spiritual foundation that we can all draw on and bring in the human and material and spiritual resources that we need for this transformational change that we know is coming. And so it's a way of uniting the hearts through a vision of a sustainable, just, and peaceful future. And we've got different activities for all ages. So it feels to me like we're finally at the point where we can provide all, especially children and youth, with educational opportunities that empower them to contribute actively to sustainable development. And so I'd like to just open it up for a few minutes to a discussion of what the possibilities are for Baha'is, either as individuals or as groups that are working on children's classes, junior youth groups, how we can infuse this climate conversation into our community life as Baha'is. And I'll just ask people to respond.
if discussion of unity was previously talked about, today, the way the world is, we see it together, that unity becomes even more reflective on how we need to react, because, as we know, something that happens one part of the world, it could affect the rest of the world. And in the past, we didn't know. Now we can see it. And COVID was an example that, something that happens one part of the world, it can be spread around the world. And same thing is happening with the wars, with the famine. So this topic is a very interesting, unifying topic. And then you can go talk about, our religions are one, our nations are one. So I think this is a good topic to spread among people who may not agree with everything else we saying. So that's a good way of starting it.
There are some positive things taking place in the world. I subscribe to National Geographic magazine, and oftentimes there'll be an article about some advance that they found a way to produce electricity from wave action. And there are a lot of positive things happening. Also on Facebook, things come up that show that people are concerned about the environment and how to get away from fossil fuels. Unfortunately, these exciting developments are kind of random sort of events. But in reality, there are some people around the world who are seriously trying to come up with solutions to our problems.
I think that one of the things that struck me in your presentation was the concept of believing that humanity, that individuals can be protagonists for their own, the solutions of their problems. And that that vision of trusting in our fellow, humanity and their capacity is, I think, very encouraging and very Baha'i, certainly, and that it will, I think, it's inclusive. It is that community building. It is that aspect of embracing everyone, that they have a role to play. And I think that, it talked about the educational aspect, and that this is, I think that that's our mission, is to share that with everyone.
Yeah, this is Gary. I just want to mention some estimates that have been made using models that have shown to be very accurate in predicting these changes. What we're looking at is about a 33% loss of natural habitats by the end of this century. And in the United States alone, as a result of coastal flooding from sea level rise, we see what's happening in the Arctic and Antarctic with the ice shelves there. You're looking at anywhere from 70 to 45% loss of coastal wetlands. And even today, there are literally millions of people who are displaced as a result of climate change. And certainly in the island countries are, whole populations of people have had to be moved as a result of that. So, we're sort of dealing with changes of that magnitude and that time scale is going to require very deliberate action at the highest levels of world governance. And it's way beyond the Baha'is or any other individual group. We're all going to have to support those changes.
Well, I think
It's
Sue,
going to require sacrifice, for sure.
I heard Sue ask specifically about the youth and children. And I think we have the Ruhi books and everything that are being used with the children's classes and the junior youth and groups and things like that. But I wonder if there isn't some way to incorporate some kind of storytelling or asking, especially the older kids, if they really know how this is affecting them in their everyday life or how it will affect them in the future. It needs to be brought down to the everyday personal level in order for people to make a change. And there are stories about young people, a couple of young women I've seen, articles about them who've developed, and this is in another country, who've developed these little lights with batteries that are made out of found objects that they've got that will provide light at night for people, who don't have electricity available to them. And other people like this story about the young man who built a pump for a well. There's been a movie made about him. This is a place in Africa. And there are these young people who are doing things that are making real differences. And if we give these stories to these young people, it can be very inspirational and say, what are things that you see happening? Many years ago, it's like I heard the story about the youth group in Houston who said, what are the needs that you need to address? And they said, we need better health care in our neighborhood. And eventually they got a clinic there. The kids got it going. So if in these youth groups and things like that, these things are addressed and brought down to a personal level with some of these stories, it may inspire them to think about this on an individual level, and they may come up with some startlingly clever ideas.
Yeah, in Alachua County, they have farm to school program. I guess it's been around for a long time. There's like 30 elementary schools in Alachua County, and they set up raised beds for each school. And so I don't know when this all started, but it's a good thing because it helps the children see that they can grow their own vegetables at school. They give those vegetables to the cafeteria, and it's a good small part of the program, but it's a start in that direction. But it's been around for a while. It's called Farm to School. I don't know if they do it in high schools or not, but they definitely have it in elementary schools. And there's 30 of them, at least 30 elementary schools in Alachua County.
Great.
I think too, with Earth Day coming up, it seems like we need to have a concerted effort to make that more meaningful. And as Kim was saying, try to emphasize the importance of Earth Day to the youth, and see if they can get involved in one way or another. It could be planting trees maybe. I know in Africa there's at least one place where they're planting millions of trees because they know they need to recover what they've lost. And so it is possible to turn things around if people are committed and willing to go the extra mile.
Earlier, my friend Darwin, who lives in Zambia in Africa, was online just for a short time here. And he works with children who have planted more than 2,000 trees. And so it's something that we can learn from what other people are doing and see what our young people are inspired to do, that they have to lead. They have to decide what it is they want to do. And we're asking them through our storytelling, uh, which should come clearer as we go through the year. Um, I'm asking the young people to collect stories with videos and writing of who in your community is doing what. And let's just share that and then see in Alachua County in different towns who is doing what. And then let's check out what's going on around Florida. And then let's see who's doing what across the United States for this 250th birthday. You know, how can we use this America 250 as a way to since the not only the celebration of our independence as a country, but also our interdependence with our global community and all of life on Earth. And so that's the thinking that you start with one little self, and we are starting it with a children's story and asking people to consider reading it with a young child at bedtime or have a discussion around a kitchen table and start this. We're learning to create a culture. No, we're learning to create a climate of peace on and with the earth. And we're saying the words of the Earth Charter that peace is the wholeness created by right relationships with oneself. It starts in each heart, other persons, other cultures, other life, Earth, and the larger whole of which all are a part. So that's the framework that we're telling this climate story in. So it's been fun for me. And Bill, we can go on to the next slide, please. There we are. So again, we have a lot of resources that are just kind of out there and ready to be used in whatever way is appropriate. But the original course that the five of us in this community took uh, 12 years ago is still ongoing. It's now on the International Environment Forum website, and they offer it as I think it's 9 weeks as a full course, but it can be broken down and done shorter and shorter segments, so that's adaptable. We have a program called the Spiritual Dimensions of Climate Action that I developed with my friend Alice Primack from the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in Gainesville. And we presented it there. It was a 6-week course um, based on that, based on the scientific and spiritual dimensions, but just for focusing on climate action and helping people to feel that connection from the emotion that you feel when you really understand what's going on with the climate and then putting it into some kind of purposeful action for the betterment of the world. And then there's also the Story of Stuff, which is a Baha'i inspired program for youth. I also worked on this one with 2 other Baha'is, and it is now on the Story of Stuff website and available for download from anyone. It's also on the International Environment Forum website. And so we just feel like these are just sitting there waiting to be used. And we want to facilitate that during the year with Baha'is if possible, and certainly with people who are ready to do this. And we really want to engage the Baha'is because this is part of our discourses of society and social action that we're being asked to do. We have one online exhibition with the Matheson History Museum here in Gainesville, and that was done last year for Alachua County's bicentennial. And we celebrated 200 years from 1824 to 2024 and collected creative artwork from 60 people. We had about 60 submissions and selected, well, actually, they're mostly all on the website at the Matheson History Museum now. And we have an agreement with the Matheson to put together a sequel to that. So now we're going from 1776 to 2026 and beyond. And we're really going to be able to tell this collaborative storytelling adventure in the way I've always imagined it. And it will be showcased on the Matheson Museum website. And of course, the other piece that's, I don't think I've included it here, but the other important thing that we're doing is collaborating with the Environmental Protection Department for Alachua County in support of the community outreach for their climate action plan. And I recently had dinner with the lady who is my contact person there and told her that she told me first that they are seeing this climate action plan as the basis for a regional compact through the surrounding counties in Alachua, in north central Florida. And I told her about our bagel cluster with Putnam County. It's Bradford, Alachua, Gilchrist, and Levy counties, and that we are supposed to be taking these Baha'i principles out into the world. And so it just seems like a very natural opportunity to collaborate in a way that's very meaningful. And I really am curious to see how it will develop over the year, because for me, it's just a tremendous opportunity, and I can envision this transformational change happening as we release the society building power of this wonderful faith. And let's go to the last slide, Bill. Okay, and so we now have a kind of a sequence of things happening. This, as I mentioned, on the third Sunday service, we are looking particularly at the Baha'i perspective on whatever the topic is. And then with the Interfaith Climate Group, it's going into a more, just a unity of the religions, and getting people to understand that we really are one human family and one earth community with a common destiny. And peace is, as promised, will come. And then in January, we're going to be I am hosting with a Baha'i friend from Texas, a climate ambassador training. It's a 5-hour training that is provided by an interfaith group called Eco America. And their Blessed Tomorrow program is for people of all faiths. And they have a very well developed network of clergy working together, lay people working together on these climate issues in their faith communities and sharing information and resources. And so I've been putting up what's happening here with our Interfaith Climate Group activities. And I actually was interviewed by this organization to be one of about 30 climate ambassadors in a documentary. And one of the other Baha'is, who is also a climate ambassador, is doing this training so that on January 11th, which is a Sunday, from 10 to 4, you are invited, and I will be sending this out, the general invitation to everyone. We've had some people sign up already, and I'm very excited about what that means. Who knows what it really means, but I'm doing my part, and we'll see what happens next. So if you're interested in any of these, you can contact me at SueBlythe@we.net. And I just look forward to seeing how this unfolds in the coming year. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Sue. I just want to express my personal gratitude for your perseverance and your fortitude and and just keeping plowing on and keeping that enthusiasm and optimism going. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gary. It brings me such joy that I just feel real grateful that this is my role to play.
Yeah, to me too, it looks like 2026 is going to be an exciting year because it looks like things are finally in the local community, things are coming together nicely. So thank you also.
Thank you, Sue.
And thank you all.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you everybody.
I'll tell you what, why don't I close with a prayer for the southern states?
Okay.
Oh my God, thou seest me in my lowliness and weakness, occupied with the greatest undertaking, determined to raise thy word among the masses and to spread thy teachings among thy peoples. How can I succeed unless thou assist me with the breath of the Holy Spirit? Help me to triumph by the hosts of thy glorious kingdom, and shower upon me thy confirmations, which alone can change a gnat into an eagle, a drop of water into rivers and seas, and an atom into lights and suns. O my Lord, assist me with thy triumphant and effective might, so that my tongue may utter thy praises and attributes among all people, and my soul overflow with the wine of thy love and knowledge. Thou art the omnipotent, and the doer of whatsoever thou willest.